Hello, welcome to All About Billings. We are a show dedicated to discovering the people who make Billings a great place to work and live. We will interview local business people, entrepreneurs, entertainers, artists, and community leaders and discover from them their successes and those things that have helped them grow through their failures. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome Kelly and Quinn Donovan here from First Montana Title. The Donovans have been owners at First Montana since 2005. And before purchasing First Montana, Kelly was a farmer in Opime.
Correct.
And Quinn was working at a title company here in Billings. One of the things that's so impressive is during their tenure, First Montana has gone from being a small title company in Billings to the largest title company in our area. I am really excited to hear your story and learn all about your journey. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, it's good to have you here. And, I just want to start with you, Kelly. You have a really interesting story. Coming from being a farmer in Opime to deciding you're going to come to Billings, get involved in business with your son, and grow this title company. What was that like, and what made you inspired to do that?
Well, Deb and I went to college at MSU, Bozeman, graduated in '74, and went home to run the farm. Purchased the farm from my parents. We had Quinn and Dana, and it was just a great place to. It was a way of life for us. Enjoyed the rural setting and everything, and it came time to need some help, and I decided to check with Quinn and see if he was coming back, and he said he really liked his job that he had in Billings, and that I should probably go ahead and sell the farm and ranch, because it was we raised cattle and sheep and lots of grain and irrigation, so it was full-time. I didn't know for sure what we were going to do when we grew up, when we sold the farm. But within months, Quinn called and said, "Hey, Dad, First Montana's for sale, I hear."
Wow.
And he asked me if I would come down and meet with the owner, because he at the time was employed at another company and didn't feel right looking for a different career when he was working for them. So I came down and started the dialogue, I guess, and we're here.
Yeah. Well, and so tell us a little bit about your journey. So you were here. You did not go to the family farm. You decided to get a career in Billings and got started in title. How did that all start?
That started by when I graduated. I thought I wanted to get into banking, and so I had quite a few interviews right out of school, but of course, when I started at a teller line, I didn't think that would be very much fun. So had a family friend that had a really good friend that was an escrow officer at a title company. I had no idea what that was, but it seemed like it had something to do with banking. So
and better than maybe being a teller.
Yeah, right. So I applied thinking I was applying to be an escrow assistant, and meeting with the manager, and after my interview, he decided I was more fitted for marketing and sales, which I was actually employed in sales at a television station for about 6 months, which is a very hard job.
Hard business.
So I was a little disappointed that I was going to go stay in sales, but I didn't think I was doing great at the TV station. I thought, well, I better get a job while I can, because I don't know if I'd be around much longer at the TV station. And it was a wonderful job. It turns out when people have to choose, and they need your service, so to choose from the four is a lot easier to sell than selling advertising that you have to talk them into needing it. So it was the most wonderful job ever. Everybody loved seeing me. I took people to lunch, took them golf, and brought them their commission checks. the most popular guy in town and you have those commission checks. So.
Absolutely. So that was a good fit. And so then you heard through the grapevine that First Montana was for sale. And then what made you think, wow, maybe we should get involved with this?
Yeah, so I had worked my way up with that company for 3 years and was actually in their management program and had been managing the local shop for about 4 or 5 months. And so I've been trained by a big corporate company as far as the business, how to run, how to make money. Basically, their corporations are very good at that. And so, just the opportunity to have my own place, work for myself, opportunity to work with my family, my dad. It wasn't his idea of going back. He probably thought my whole life I'd be going back to the farm, but so it was a switch of roles, but it seemed like an opportunity to make that happen. He didn't know, like he said, what he wanted to do when he grew up, and he was quote unquote retired for a month or two, and so yeah, it was just kind of a pipe dream to see what it was all about, and then it came together because we were a good Irish family. And
yeah, you were saying that. He was Irish, you
Yeah,
were
the
Irish, and that
McCanns,
was
yeah.
kind of a connection?
Yeah, the McCann family, Paul McCann Sr. had owned First Montana for, almost 50 years, and I think he had some higher offers, but I think he ended up, he decided he wanted to keep it in a family, and in the end we heard from his manager that he wanted to keep it in a good Irish family. So here we are.
So it worked out
Donovan
for you.
paid off to be a
Worked
Donovan.
out for you.
Yeah.
And so, Kelly, what was that like to go from farming to all of a sudden you're in a title company? Did you know anything about the industry at all?
Pretty much all I knew about the title company was bits and pieces. I've purchased land.
Sure.
A lot different in a one title company town. You do things a lot different, and I really didn't understand the nuts and bolts, but I knew it was necessary. But I'd served on a bank board, school board, been an EMT and things like that, so I enjoyed working with and people, and I thought, well, heck, if Quinn thinks I can do this, let's give it a try. And so I came down and met with Mr. McCann and his manager, and we started the ball rolling, and by July 13th of '05, we opened up as our company.
Wow, almost 19 years ago.
Yep.
So what were the early years like? So you had some experience in title, you had some corporate training, which probably came in handy. You were green to the title business, but you had some experienced workers, some employees who knew the business. So what was it like coming in fresh and having to take over a staff?
It was a quick education
Yeah.
from what they put in the books and what in the trainings and all that to, now you have human emotion, and you're realizing you're, at first viewed as could be the mean new guy buying the company, and what's he going to be like. So it was definitely a learning experience on how to deal with human emotion and win basically people's trust. And because we did come in and change some things right off the bat. Everyone they had a rather large staff because they did some things across the state too. So Paul had different offices, so we used some employees here for that, which we didn't have, so we had to downsize right off the bat. So that took definitely some keeping an open mind and really learning from the staff themselves on how to win their trust and really rely on them for what they're doing, how they've done it in the past, but yet maybe how we can improve those things. A lot of it was technology too. They were kind of towards the end not investing a lot in the technology side of things, so we were coming in, redoing networks, some new softwares, things like that. So it was a lot at once, but I was a young kid with a lot of energy and nothing else to do other than work. So,
So you just worked.
so there we go. Yep.
And how about you, Kelly? What do you remember from the early years?
Well, the first thing, I'd had a little experience because of a small town school board, the responsibility of training or of hiring people kind of falls on the board once in a while and that
Right.
kind of thing. And at the bank, I was on the loan committee and in the HR department, so it been introduced to that kind of thing a little bit. So I thought, well, here we go. And I guess what I fell back on is learned through the years on these boards and things that you have to just treat people right, and don't stick by your word. And if you say you're going to do something, follow through. If you can't do it, admit it. That's one of the first things that I learned on the job, because I was learning the title company like quick.
Right.
And I said, people, I have my cell phone, and I'll try to answer your question, but if I can't, we have professional staff that will, and I know people to call, and we'll get you the answer. I think just being honest up front and then follow through is a huge part of marketing, because we're a people business.
You know, isn't that the truth? You know, you think about a lot of these big corporations. I just was trying to get some account access with a big bank, and the guy actually hung up on me today. I mean, just like, well, I'm sorry, when you have that information, call back, click. And I thought, wow, that's really rude. And it's just so refreshing to hear, like, the perspective of giving your cell phone number, you know, being honest with them, telling them, hey, I may not have the answer, but I'm going to find out, or if I did something wrong, I'm going to try to make it right.
How you fix it.
Yeah, it's almost old-fashioned in this day and age.
Probably.
You know, where you
Yeah.
got a phone queue, and you know, if you don't have the right password, beep, you know,
Shut you off,
you're
right.
down. So that's really fascinating.
I guess I just brought that with me, and hopefully, and he did. I think when Quinn saw that happening, it's the way my dad did business,
Yeah.
respected seniority and everything, and it's how you fix things. We all have days that everything doesn't go perfect, but it's the way you fix it and treat people. It's a people business, yeah.
Right. Well, so what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in the industry in the last 19 years?
Oh, definitely technology / what good and bad, what that's done with everything more and more and online, and it's opened up fraud, hacking. So the amount of money and resources and just education we're constantly having to implement we're protecting people's information, their money, and people don't, buy and sell real estate every day, so they can be real susceptible to scams and fraudsters, which the fraudsters have learned that real quick. So it's been a whirlwind, especially the last 5 years, with just battling the fraud and educating our staff too. You can have all the firewalls and protections and everything in place, but you're also at the mercy of human element. And so if your employees don't know not to click on this or what to look for in scams, then you're still susceptible no matter what you do. So it's a constant education, and we've had some instances where we took some hard knocks, and definitely that wakes up everybody real fast.
Well, and I know that a big one is people being requested to send wires.
Yeah.
And I haven't personally had a client, but somebody who was buying one of my clients' house out of state, she wired $100,000 plus to somebody, and she never saw that money again. And those things can happen. It looks like legitimate
Absolutely.
emails, but they're not. And then So I'm supposed part of your job is not just protecting, but also educating
Yep.
people to
Yep.
make sure they don't do something
Absolutely.
crazy like wiring money.
And we're constantly, so implement a new procedures just as we go, but right now we have every order that opens up, we make sure that the people know that this is our account number, this is who we bank with, nothing's going to change, so that we give those wiring instructions in a secure way
Right.
to the people right up front, and we inform them nothing is going to change. So if you get any weird requests or something saying, oh, we have a new bank account, it's not, true. So we just try to right up front get everybody on the same page, make sure they have phone numbers too, because that's the best way to combat a lot of that fraud and requests for wires and everything, is just a good old-fashioned phone call.
Just confirm that
Yep.
you are actually initiating this, or I'm sending this to you.
Yep, because we've gotten to be a society where everything's easy to type and emails, and
Right.
boy, it's scary how quick and easy people can intercept emails. It looks legit. They can
Right.
fake the name that shows up on the email. So yeah, sometimes just a good old-fashioned phone call to say, hey, this doesn't look quite right, is it? And sometimes it is, but they've come down to that's really the best way that you can combat things, is have a number that you know is for that person ahead of time, and then just confirm and reconfirm.
Well, and there have been new scams too, like people trying to sell land that they don't own.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
that's one I probably get a call a month with people saying, hey, will you list my property? And I say, great, can we meet in person? Oh, I'm not here right now.
Yeah.
And I say, can you send me your driver's license? And then I never hear back.
Yep.
So
And
there's
that's-
all sorts of new things going on.
Yep, and we actually, now that you mentioned that, we this week are rolling out a new product that piggybacks with our wiring product that verifies identification. So it runs their ID to make sure it's a legit ID. Because we've actually seen that too, where they will send a driver's license and it's a fake ID, but
Right.
it looks real. It has, Montana, it looks like one. It has a picture. It has the correct information usually of the person that's on the records as owning it. It's just a fake one. And, everyone, you're a real estate professional, not a ID, professional.
Right.
And what they can do with computers, it looks darn good. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to be. So now, this new product that comes out, it's AI, as far as it'll run the barcode and do all that to verify that it was actually state issued. And
Well, that's smart. It probably just saves a lot of time
Absolutely.
and headache. Even though if something like that happens, there is title insurance to protect
Yep.
people. But it's still, you don't want to have to go through that.
it's just like any insurance, you have health insurance for heart surgery, but you hope you don't have to
Exactly,
use it.
exactly. So one of the things that I also really admire about your business is you're a big proponent of community, and you invest in a lot of community organizations here. Tell us about why that's important for a company like First Montana.
It's important because we're small town people. We grew up in a small community where everybody helps everybody out, and that's just a way of life and how you get through life. So coming here, I think that kind of goes back to the verbiage, of those who are given much have much responsibility, something around that nature. And so we really believe in that. And in order it's just a big circle for people to move here, want to live here, use our business, use your business. We have to have a great community. To do that, we have to have great nonprofits. We have to have great, like children, different organizations for camps, for after-school programs, and parks, and if you do all that, then people want to live here. So it's just a big circle. We help them, they help us, they help you, you help us.
So it just is a way to help the community flourish.
Everybody.
And so everybody wins.
Yep,
People moving here, people who live here,
absolutely.
the people in need, the people who are employed. Yeah, that's really cool.
And I guess on a simpler note, being from a small area, if you help take care of the community will take care of you. It's kind of a simple equation.
Well, so what do you attribute your growth to through the years? Because you
Taking
went
care
from
of people.
Yeah, I mean, you went from small. I don't know if you were the smallest in town at that
Yep.
point.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, to the largest by far. I mean, you have a big part of the market share of the title.
Yep.
Billings
and the
has been
closings.
great to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it goes just, we just do what we do. There's, always the fancy new thing or this or that or gadget or, we try to do what we do, take care of people, take care of our employees. Our employees is the main reason. No, actually, probably one of the only reasons we're successful is, and we really think of them as family. In a sense, we're employee owned because we give every year a big portion. We take our percentage of our profits, and that goes directly back to our employees. So in a sense, that percentage is their percentage of the company. So they really take ownership in everything we do, and that reflects, I think, with how they take care of customers. They actually care about the deal. It's not just a clock in, clock out, get my paycheck.
Right.
They have a personal interest in making this a good experience and making sure that the deal goes smooth and actually closes.
Well, and there are a lot of times where emotions get really heightened in your business. I mean, maybe, and
Yep.
you're seeing the end of it, like, why aren't we closing? Why is this a problem? So that's a big part of it too, isn't it? Kind of calming people down and
Yep.
being
Yep.
I guess, just a thoughtful person and respecting where they're coming from, but also
Yep.
de-escalating.
Yep. Yep. And
Just
that's
to reassure them that this will happen. We just couldn't do it today, maybe. But
Right.
just calming things down, and there's always a way to figure things out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times it's not even you that's delaying
No.
things.
usually it's not.
Because
Just for the
we
record.
don't get paid until it's closed, so we want to get it closed also.
Exactly. Exactly. So what would be your proudest moment of having the business? Or one of them. Maybe you have many.
I guess I'll speak a little bit about Billings as a whole. It's home to my wife and I now. I'm still getting used to the size and the busy but I guess the biggest thing that I think is important to me is that Quinn and I share an office and we still come to work together after 19 years. That doesn't always happen in family dynamics. And that's
Yeah.
one of the greatest things about being here for me.
Yeah. That's really a testament to how great of the relationship you guys have that you can sustain running a business together. That's not necessarily easy. It can break up
No.
many families.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say one of my proudest moments, probably two. First was when we got the Chamber Employer of the Year, which we were nominated by our employees. And we had no idea it was coming. So that was about 8 years ago, I think, and that was just real touching moment when they came in with the balloons and said that, and read some of the comments that they received from our employees, and that really hits home, lets you know that you're doing things right. The other proud moment now, looking back, I'm 44 years old, when my dad invested with me and went in full force. I was 25, and now I have two boys also, and I look back and I'm like, I don't know if he was crazy or just loved me a lot, but for him to have that confidence in me at that young of an age, and just really, and not try to control it. He knew I had the experience, I knew the ins and outs, and he trusted that, and he let me take the reins. Even, I'm sure there was some days he was wondering, but he just
What to get myself
stayed
into.
stayed pat with it, and just let me do my thing. And so I guess that's a proud moment as far as that he had that belief in me.
Right. Well, so what have been a moment or some times that have been, let's say, more challenging times? Is there, of course, there are challenges with running a business. What's something that you've had to face that's been challenging?
One that comes out right away is COVID.
Oh, sure.
And I knew that we just weren't going to have any business. And how are we going to adapt? Well, I was wrong. Thankfully, I was wrong. But when that first hit, that was one of the scariest moments, I guess. Yeah.
Just worried, like, oh my gosh, is the whole business going to go under?
What's going to happen?
Right.
How do we
right.
pay people? I think that's one of the hardest things I've had. In 2011, Montana kind of lags a little, and so 08 the crash, and then 11 is kind of when we felt the real estate crash, and we had to lay off 2 people, and that was probably definitely the hardest part of my career,
Right.
Knowing that you're affecting people's lives.
Right.
And that was one of the biggest reasons when I was looking to get out of corporate was they just see it as a number on a piece of paper, and
Right.
so that was a very, very hard time for me.
So what advice would you give to somebody wanting to start a small business, maybe with their family?
I would say if it's with family or friends, but certainly family, set the parameters of responsibility and how it's going to go up front, and then stick with that. In our case, it was Quinn's the boss. He makes the decisions. I'm here to help and get business and do PR work and all that, but that was set out even if he didn't totally agree with what I was doing with employees or whatever it might be. He knew that that's what we had set up and that's how it was, so we didn't have a mom versus dad, type of thing where Quinn said, nope, this is how we're doing it, so then we go to the other owner. And that was, I think, very, very key to our success, was setting those parameters up front and then sticking to them. And sometimes you have to bite your tongue, but it'll pan out in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, Kelly?
Just pretty much that, and I kind of learned that through the systems that I'd been on boards and things. And in smaller towns, we had to make bank decisions on my neighbor, and that's where you learn. You vote your feelings and everything, and that guy over there is the manager, and I purposely stayed out of the office for a few days and just came in at like 4 o'clock because I wanted to make sure that people knew that Quinn was the manager.
Right.
And I was along for the fun.
Well, in one word, what would you describe Billings' future like? Just in one word.
Bright.
That's exciting.
Exciting and bright. I love it. Well, it has been wonderful having you both here today. Thank you so much. Boy, time sure flies when we're having great conversations.
Yep.
I am Nancy Brooke with Billings Best Real Estate, and I'm so glad you could join us today and hope to see you next time on All About Billings.